What's up, everybody? Bill Tendo here, and for people that know me, know that I have a huge love for wrestling. Today, I just want to take like 5 minutes and talk about 10 different lies Hulk Hogan has told. So, Hogan, Terry Bollea, especially in the last few years, has become a tremendous liar for no reason. Maybe it's for clout. Maybe it's because he feels like he's lost relevance and stuff like that. I have many reasons not to like the guy. Obviously, I was a Macho fan and not so much a Hogan fan back in the day. But the truth is, Hulk Hogan lies for clout, and all of his lies are easily disproved. So we're going to jump through about 10 of them right now. And let's go. I'm going to say number one on today's list is he said that he met a Make-A-Wish kid when performing with the WWF at Wembley Stadium. The kid, his quote was, "The kid smelled terrible. I had not had that smell around me in a while. I didn't know what it was, but I hugged him and I went out and performed, and during my match I looked in the audience where he was supposed to be, and he wasn't there, and the kid died during the match or during the show." And easily disproven. WWF has only performed one time ever at Wembley Stadium, and Hogan was in WCW at the time. So, very easily disproven. Little side note, he's got many Make-A-Wish lies. One of them was that, and this isn't on the list, that he and Michael Jackson used to do Make-A-Wish together, and there is absolutely no evidence of this. Alright, so, at one point in his life, he hated Macho Man, Randy Savage, so much that he started telling people that he was scouted by the Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds to play Major League Baseball for them. Both organizations have denied that this is true, and obviously this was just a lie because Macho Man, under his real name Randy Poffo, prior to getting into wrestling, played for the Cincinnati minor league baseball team that was AAA, and once you rose up from there, he would have went to the Cincinnati Reds, but injury tossed him out of pro baseball. But obviously, he also says that him and Macho Man became best friends right before he died. I don't believe that for a second. Maybe they found some kind of peace, but I don't believe it for a second. He claims to have been best friends with a lot of people right before they died, and that, everything that all this hate they had for each other in the past was gone. They became the best of friends. Okay, number 3 on today's list is going to be, he said he recorded 2 albums with Simon Cowell as a producer, and that it's because of him that Simon Cowell was popularized in the United States, that no one knew who he was until Hulk Hogan worked with him as a musical producer. Blatantly false. Simon Cowell has stated, when asked about this, that he has never worked with Hogan, ever. While we're talking about his musical lies, he said that he was, this is number 4 by the way, that he was friends with Lars Ulrich from Metallica, and when their original bassist Cliff Burton died, he was offered the bassist position before Jason Newsted. Lars Ulrich just laughed and said, absolutely not, ever. So, we're going to move on to number 5. Number 5 is pretty simple. He says that the writer and director of The Wrestler, the Oscar-nominated movie by Darren Aronofsky, that Darren Aronofsky offered him the role 3 different times. The lead that Mickey Rourke was nominated for an Oscar for. And Darren Aronofsky has said he was never, ever even considered for the role. One thing after another with this guy. Hogan is such a liar. It's so weird. He built this legacy, but now, as he's getting older, he just lies about things that make absolutely no sense. We're going to move on to item number 6 on today's list, which is that he tore 18 muscles in his back, and he was the first person to ever slam Andre the Giant, and Andre the Giant died a few days later. So, number 1, he didn't tear 18 muscles in his back. Number 2, Andre went up for the slam. He gave it to him. And although Hogan said he weighed 600 pounds, he didn't. I believe Andre was 490 at the time. So, or maybe it was 5'10". He was right around 500 pounds. And he lived for years after that slam. So, bullshit. Also, the slam was done about 20 times. It was practiced in dark matches before WrestleMania. So it was done a bunch of times in local territories. He also said that he and Vince McMahon wrote the script for No Holds Barred the night before filming started, that they went in there and came out, spent the night in a hotel room, and they rewrote the entire script and came out with an all-new script the next morning in time for them to start filming, which is blatantly false. He's also claimed he wrote the scripts for most of the movies he starred in, like Mr. Nanny and Suburban Commando. He has writing credits on none of these movies because he didn't do it. So now we're moving on to number 8. He claims that Elvis Presley was a huge fan of Hulkamania. The problem with this is, in 1977, when Elvis died, Hogan was a local wrestler. And he had not yet made it to Memphis. Elvis would have had no way of knowing he even existed. Hogan really started gaining any kind of traction in 1979, 2 years after Elvis died. So Elvis would have had no way to even know who he was. Even then, he wasn't WWF as it was at the time. He was still a local territory wrestler. And he had just made it to Memphis 2 years after Elvis died. Now we're going to move on to number 9. Where he has multiple MMA lies. And that's going to be 9 and 10 today. Number 9 is that in the 70s, he beat up a bunch of Pride fighters. Pride is an MMA tournament. However, Pride was not founded as an organization until the mid-90s. 20 years later. 25 years later. So, 100% didn't happen. Just another lie. And number 10 today is he absolutely claims that the UFC came to him when it first organized and wanted him to fight as a contracted fighter and leave wrestling back when they first started, for like the first couple of their pay-per-views, which Dana White has said is false. Also, I'd like to point out, I forgot a detail on the Simon Cowell one. Simon Cowell did do a small project that took 3 months with WWF. But that was in 1993, I believe it was, and Hogan was in WCW at the time and had zero contact with the WWF. So, all false. All lies by Hogan. I'll probably go ahead and make another video because there's so many. I could probably do 20 of these videos on the lies of Hulk Hogan. So, yeah. If there's any of Hogan's stories you would like me to go over, let me know. If you would like me to get more in depth with his lies and explain his lies better, with exact quotes and dispelling them to prove that they're lies, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know. I don't like Hogan. He's like maybe one of the best and worst things to ever happen to the wrestling business. Like he's the best spokesman and face that wrestling has ever had as a promoter of wrestling, but he's done so many horrible things to so many horrible people that I mean, he's done so many horrible things and so many horrible things to people that he's just a trash bag of a human, and he can't stop lying. So like and subscribe. I'll make more content like this if you like it.